大家好，欢迎回来这个 WTA 2023年夏季赛的一个现场。我由于这个孙哥、黄哥啊，在这个台上解说，现在我来客串一下。待会就要采访一下这个 ABS。首先我们要说一下之前就是这个瘦鼠骆驼对阵这个白金熊啊，瘦鼠骆驼夜蝶发挥非常的好，最后以3-0拿下这个复活赛。所以说这个瘦鼠骆驼，我觉得能进入这个第2场，我觉得 MVP 应该给这个夜蝶啊。但是下一场的这个 ABS 就不一定这么好打，因为 ABS 的话，它有 Creator， 有 Q 还有这个噩梦，还有一个东拉姑，这4名选手的话，我觉得对于这个瘦鼠骆驼来说的话，并不是那么的好打。特别是 Q 最近在个人赛这个发挥非常的好所以说我觉得还是看这个夜蝶如何去准备这个比赛，还有碳基，因为碳基之前好像在常规赛的时候也是对 Q 有一个比较好的一个战绩，好像是1-1战胜了 Q 所以说我觉得还是要看后面的发挥。好，我们现在采访一下这个 ABS 的 Creator。Creator 你好，我们发现你是这个 ABS 的队长，队员们为什么选择让你当
Can we discuss the reason why you become the leader of the ABS?
Creator 先跟大家打个招呼。
Can you comment on the performance of the team members as the leader?
니하오, 안녕하세요, 장현우입니다.
大家好，我是 Creator。
I can help. I'm Creator.
我们现在给 Creator 准备第一个问题是，我们发现你是 ABS 队长。队员们为什么选择让你担任这个职务？
지금 팀에서 대장 역할을 맡고 있는데 팀원들이 대장으로 뽑은 이유가 혹시 따로 있을까요?
사실 그거는 저도 잘 모르겠지만 그래도 그나마 이제 이유를 생각해 보면 좀 열정 있게 또 팀리그를 참여하고 있고 또 제가 엔트리를 또 가끔 이렇게 짜기 때문에 그렇게 뽑아준 것 같아요.
首先我也不知道他们为什么会选我，但是如果让我想理由的话，可能就是我对团队赛比较有热情，而且偶尔我也会去做一个排阵的工作，所以大家就会选我作为队长。
那第二个问题是，作为队长，简单聊一下你们自己这个队員在常规赛的一个表现。
지금 팀 대장으로서 팀원들이 이번 정규 시즌에서의 팀원들이 퍼포먼스에 대해서 평가한다면 어떻게 평가할까요?
일단 모든 선수들이 너무 잘해줘가지고 이렇게 플레이오프까지 오게 됐는데 너무 감사하고 고생했다고 말하고 싶고, 근데 그게 끝이 아니기 때문에 이번 플레이오프 진짜 다 같이 너무 잘하고 싶어요.
首先我的队员都非常的棒，而且打得都非常好，也非常感谢大家的这样的一个表现。而且常规赛期间大家都辛苦了。现在的话我们是进入到了季后赛，我希望季后赛不是结束而是开始，希望季后赛大家也保持一个好的状态。
下一个问题就是他个人一个问题，就是观众们都很喜欢你在比赛中的那个真情流露，然后不管是表情还是动作上都让我们感同身受。是什么原因让你在比赛中有这么丰富的这个肢体语言和表情变化？
The audience all love your movements and emotions during the match. They are really influencing. Why do you have such plentiful body language and emotional changes?
사실 그거는 이제 제가 그 게임을 이기고 막 그렇게 해야겠다 하고 마음 먹고 한 게 아니고 이제 막상 게임을 이기게 되면 너무 기쁜 마음에 그런 이제 액션들이 나오는 건데 좋게 봐주시면 감사하고 하지만 또 질 때 또 되게 안 좋은 모습이 보이기 때문에 항상 죄송하고 앞으로는 좀 이거를 줄타기를 좀 잘해서 좋은 모습만 좀 보여드리고 싶은 마음이에요.
首先其实这个表情还有一些肢体动作不是特别准备的，只是因为赢了比赛高兴，所以就真情流露出来的。
set. It was just out of the real emotions. Except for the winning the game, losing the game, I might feel not so good. Maybe the audience, my fans could forgive me, and I will change my mind moods to the best and give you all the best matches I can have.
지금 다음 상대 선수 다음 팀에서 제일 위협적이라고 생각하는
is SSLT. Who do you think poses the greatest threat?
이미 다 잘하는 선수여서 여기까지 올라온 거기 때문에 위협적인 선수 한 명은 꼽긴 힘들고 개인적으로는 저는 프로토스 전이 좀 까다로울 것 같아요. 프로토스가 또 많이 있기 때문에 선수는 딱히 모르겠고 프로토스가 좀 까다로울 것 같아요.
首先大家打到这一份的话，其实实力都很强的，所以很难去选择说某位选手特别有威胁。但是如果我个人觉得的话，我个人觉得人族战比较难打，所以感觉对战神族的时候，这一场比赛会比较难打。如果让我选的话，我会选择神族的选手吧，不是特定的某个选手，可能就是种族。
I would like to choose every Protoss players, not exactly the one of them.
그러면 다음 경기 다음 경기 점수 스코어를
what do you think the score will be for this match?
생각하시나요?
일단 선봉 싸움에서 만약에 2대0으로 이긴다면 올킬 가능성도 있다고 생각하고 만약 그렇지 않다면 한 2점 정도 지고 이길 것 같아요.
首先的话，如果保证能第一场比赛能拿到2比0的话，也有可能是拿下 AK。但是，如果拿不到 AK 的话，可能会以2分的差距赢比赛。
win them in the first match, we may fight as a 4-1.
그러면 마지막으로 상대팀에게 강력한 한마디
Finally, deliver a harsh remark to the opponent.
네, 좀 강하게.
일단 여기까지 온 것도 솔직히 엄청 잘한 거기 때문에 고생하셨고 저희가 이긴 다음에 좀 쉬게 해드릴게요. 네, 파이팅 합시다.
首先，大家能打到这里都表明了已经大家都是很强的实力了。但是，既然大家都这么辛苦呢，希望我们可以战胜你，让你早点回去休息。
As long as everyone is
感谢Kueto的一个
tiring
采访
fighting until now, I think I can send you all home to rest. Thank you.
好，那采访结束了，就把这个画面交给最专业的2名解说，一个是黄哥，一个孙哥。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Really cool to hear words here from arguably the ace player or one of the stronger players here of Team ABYDOS. We are here with our second match of the night of World Team League WTL 2023 Summer Codes Playoffs Day 1. We're going to be featuring ABYDOS up against the up-and-comers, the dark horses, the Starving Camels.
Yeah, that's right. So Starving Camels has a really stiff test ahead of them. ABYDOS, one of the teams that we're really looking at to be one of the top teams in this competition. They haven't quite had that performance, but this is their chance to make that right.
It is. And you brought up something really interesting as well. Just before we went to the break, you brought up the fact that they faced off in the round-robin group stage, and the Starving Camels, they brought down Team ABYDOS before. They've done it before. They can do it again.
Yeah, that's right. Just having a look at that matchup, it was actually Silky taking a game off Creator and Cyan taking a game off Cure, and then Firefly sealing it with the 2-0 over Mondo. So really a whole team effort there, getting it done last time.
Fun fact, that was the series where on Neo Humanity, Silky, he went for the mineral mineouts on the gold mineral patches on Creator. He was able to slip in from behind and pull off a Link Flood against Creator. So a very iconic moment in WTL was that series. But we saw that Silky isn't available. He isn't available here this time, so...
Also, ABYDOS banned Neo Humanity.
True. They did ban Neo, but what matters? Who does the cat pick? Who does he pick? That's twice in a row now. He's going for the camels. He knows. Oh my god. He's the only one. He's the only one who believes.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Well, he'll be able to gloat over everyone else. They'll give him all of the tuna.
All of the tuna. The only person or the only being here to have their faith in the starving camels. But the cat does have 100% win rate. So, you know what? Maybe they're onto something. Maybe they're onto something.
Yeah, maybe. That's pretty funny.
Also, if there's any native speakers in the chat, let us know what is the name of the cat, because the name is underneath the portrait. We don't know the name. Need to know. Outside of that, of course, we are getting ready here for our next series. And do we have our starting players? Actually, let me just quickly double check here. Both teams are going to be fielding their players. The map order has been decided. Map 1 is going to be on altitude.
All right, so kicking things off with nice big map altitude. Going to be pretty interesting. But what I care more about, what did you eat on the break?
I had some mini empanadas. Have you had an empanada before? Do you know what that is?
Probably. Sounds like a samosa or something like that.
Hell's a samosa?
Little packet.
It's like, oh no, yeah, true. Kind of like a samosa.
Yeah.
It's like a pastry, but it's full of like meat and egg.
Yeah, like meat and veggies and onion and stuff, right?
Yeah. There you go. It's like a pierogi, or like a dumpling, like a Latin American dumpling, I guess, sort of thing. Sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Beautiful. What'd you eat?
Okay, so I ordered from like a pasta place because I was like really hardcore craving pasta, and I had the pasta before we started.
Yeah.
But I also got a what do you call it? Calzone.
Okay.
A big Nutella calzone, and it I don't know why I ordered that. I think I was just really hungry when I ordered it. And then I just had this giant Nutella calzone, and I ate the whole thing.
It was just looking at you throughout the cast, and then as soon as we had the break, you needed it inside you. It had to be in.
It was way too much. I feel sick.
You're like, Matthew, I made a mistake. I'm so full.
You shouldn't order thwant like that when you're hungry.
I was about to say it's dangerous. It's dangerous to order when you're hungry because you just want everything inside you. And,
it was really big. It even had some like some orange rind mascarpone on the side of the wall. It was a lot.
That's good. Hopefully you can walk straight tomorrow. As we are getting into this, and we have our starting players. Oh my god, ABYDOS, they're not messing around. They're fielding their ace player. They're fielding Cure off the bat.
If you were TooDming here and you had to deliver a harsh remark to Cure, what would you say to him?
I did notice that in the interview. They're like, do you have any harsh words for your opponent? It's like, oh my god.
Would you like to deliver a harsh remark to your opponent?
Oh my god. I would god, what was the series? I would be like, mate, remember what Maxins did to you? I'm gonna do that again. Oh god. No, sorry, it was Cyan, right? Was it Cyan or Maxins? Who was it?
I cannot remember.
in the round robin group stage, Cure went down to Maxins, right? Am I crazy?
Maybe.
Am I crazy?
Maybe he took a
What's
game off
Cyan?
him.
Yeah, it took a game. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, I think Cyan took a game off him.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, Cyan, he took a game off of Cure, so yeah. Let's do that again. There you go.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. TooDming's going to have, I think, a really tough time against Cure just because Cure, he's one of those players, he is just so solid, so straightforward, doesn't really take many unnecessary risks at all in his play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially in this matchup. That's the thing, right? Like, you can maybe catch Cure a little bit off guard using in some of these other matchups, but in a ZVT, TooDming, it's a tough ask. It is going to be a tough ask. I wish the best to him, especially on a map like Altitude, very large map, is going to be an uphill battle for any of these players to bring down Cure, whether it's TooDming, Cyan, or Firefly. So, yeah, I do wish them the best. I hope we get a series out of this. I would not like this to be a bit of a wash as, oh, we have a cat in the background. Let's go.
He's got a Void Boy. Let's go. Oh, it's so cute.
Who do you think he bet on?
SLT versus
Oh, he bet on Papa, of course.
ABYDOS.
Of course.
Starving Camels all the way. TooDming
好
Ace
戏开场了。
defeats all of them in record time so that he can feed me.
That's very likely what he said. Very likely. As we are diving into our second series of the night, here we go. It's the Starving Camels against ABYDOS. It's everyone against Cure, and here is his first victim in the bottom left-hand corner for the Starving Camels, the Chinese Zerg player, TooDming.
No confidence. As here in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, one of the best Terrans in the world here in the red for ABYDOS. This is Cure. We've been corrected in the chat. Calzone.
Calzone.
Calzone. Hey, at least I didn't say Cazione.
There you go. Aren't you Italian? Aren't you? No?
No.
Okay.
I just know little bits and pieces.
You know about the
You always
Calzone.
get this mixed up. Jackson's half Italian.
True, yeah. Chase is Italian. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got his
And-
nonna. Are you?
As,
You've got like some British roots in you, right?
yeah, my nan's British.
That's it.
From Manchester.
Oh, you're
Not very
like
exciting.
David Beckham.
I haven't actually been to Manchester. Apparently it's pretty fun. It's like a bit of a uni town.
Oh, okay, there you go. It's like Melbourne. As
Melbourne
Kira's
is,
going for, as Kira's going for a 2 racks opener. He's going for his Björn opener again. This has been quite prevalent throughout the Korean scene and even throughout just the scene in general here. It has been spreading like wildfire.
Yeah, I've been studying Cure replays actually today from Gamers 8, where he was using this pretty much every single TVZ, often going into a fast third CC paired up with Hellions and a Liberator or a Mind Drop is something that Mario has done off that as well. So definitely expecting to see him going for that again. This has kind of become the standard in this matchup. You can play a really solid game from this kind of seemingly weird and cheesy opening. It has just become a really solid way to just control the opening and not let the Zerg get out of control too quickly.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm curious to see how TooDming does or how he fares against it so far. I believe his Overlord may have caught wind of this, and he is staying on 2 bases, amassing queens. He's got some lings out as well, looking to minimize his losses and hopefully not losing too many drones.
Yeah, that's right. We also see TooDming is going to be opening 2 base. That is a response that we do see sometimes to this. Most of the top Koreans have been opting to go for a pretty normal timed third hatch, just delaying it very slightly to get faster speed, but instead going for some extra lings as well. And it does get to be a little bit of a difficult hold on the third, especially on a map like this where it's quite far away. So I don't mind TooDming going instead for a 2 base opening.
Yeah, definitely. As you were saying, we have seen a lot of the Korean Zerg players respond in this manner. They will eventually get their third base up and running. As we can see, you also mentioned the Cure follow-up is going for that third CC, isn't doubling down to go into 4 racks. Meanwhile, TooDming going for a lair off of 2 bases.
Yeah, it's something we see TooDming doing a lot, actually. So it's going to be interesting to see how this does match up with the opening from Cure. But yeah, Cure going for the fast third CC. This has become kind of just a very simple, like modular setup, almost like a 3cc Banshee, where it's just you can pick your starport units. You have these Hellions and Reapers for a bit of map control as well. It actually ends up operating very similarly to a 3cc Banshee.
Yeah, so can it be quite economic here as that follow-up? And we'll see what TooDming decides to do with this. He's taking his gases. We were talking earlier about how altitude can be a great map for Muta play, and with all these gases being taken, it should be 2-base Spire coming out from TooDming.
Yeah, and there we go. We do see the Hellions and the Lib getting started up. I do think 2-base Spire isn't going to match up too well against this, basically because you do get quite a fast double drop. So you have a double drop moving out at about 530. 2-on-1 type builds tend to go extremely well against 2-base Muta openings just because you have that really fast stim.
Yeah, that's why I'm honestly a little bit surprised that TooDming is going for this, right? Like, he's aware of the 2-racks opener. He's aware of the amount of bio that Cure is going to have at his disposal. And to go for Mutas anyway is a really bold choice out of TooDming.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's risky.
It's a bit weird. I actually am struggling to think of an opening that Mutas is good against that starts off with the 3 Reapers. I guess it is good against the Mind Drop. That's probably it.
Yeah, the Maru variation, but we're not up against Maru. We're up against Cure here, and we do see the Medivacs are on the way. We're getting ready for that double drop. The initial Liberator is going to be moving out across the map, and hopefully TooDming doesn't invest too much into these Mutas. Hopefully he has a force on the ground to defend. Otherwise, he's going to be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, Lib is on the move. We have the Hellions on the move as well. eBay's coming down at a pretty decent time just to keep on top of those upgrades. And yeah, exactly as we were talking about, the Liberator going to come in one end. We're going to have those Reapers and Hellions doing a little bit of map control, just dealing with some of that creep as well. But there we go. Cure immediately spots the Spire. And you can see why this setup is so good. He sees everything he needs to see and is keeping control on the Zerg as well.
Yeah, and he doesn't flinch. He's setting his Marine drop across the map. He knows how little his opponent will have to defend against this. In saying that, the Spire is done, and yeah, there we go. 8 Mutas are in production. There aren't going to be Banelings to work with. We do have a couple of Lings on the way. Is it going to be enough, though? As we're joining forces, we're consolidating the army. We have the Marine drop alongside Hellions.
I think he might just be dead. It's going to be pretty hard to hold this. The Hellions and Reapers are going to do a fantastic job against those Lings. We have no Banelings whatsoever. It's just a matter of whether TooDming can get enough Mutas out to deal with this Marine count. And nice micro does get the Lings on top of the Marines.
Yeah, but they do get annihilated immediately. The Mutas are being focused down as well by the Marines. It looks like we barely have enough to clean this army up. It was a costly trade for TooDming, but he holds.
He does hold. Cure pulls ahead in workers, though. TooDming really had to cut workers quite heavily to make that happen. And I think he's going to have to go fairly all in with the Mutas and with the Lings to try to deny this third from Manu.
Yeah, we can see the Mutas are going to be hunting down this Medevac. Great of Cure to pull that Medevac over towards the bottom right-hand corner, just buying some time, just distracting those Mutas ever more as Cure is setting up back at home. TooDming is droning, by the way. He's taking his 4th base, is saturating his bases, is going to hopefully keep Cure busy with just these Mutas.
Yeah, he's definitely going to hope so, but this is where this becomes a really difficult position. Cure's economy is great, his upgrades are great, he'll have 2-2 coming along by the 8-minute mark, and he's got this big Marine tank army, which deals extremely well with the kind of army that TooDming's putting together.
We saw how well the first push traded against TooDming's army, and now here comes the second push, and I believe there is no Baneling speed. Good snipe on one of those Medevacs, so a good start here to denying this push, but Cure, he's not slowing down.
Yeah, fantastic snipe. That was really tidily done by TooDming, but Cure behind this, he is going into an 8-rack setup. 8-racks, of course, really fantastic against this kind of play as well. And TooDming, the problem for him here is he just does not have the drone count, and he's not going to have time to add any more.
He does go for a Baneling Waddle, but he does get 8 SCVs across the map, but he loses his 3rd base. Mutas are coming in from behind. They're going on top of the tanks.
Yeah, almost gets a snipe on that tank. Is gonna, you know, put that warning out for Cure, but Cure just taking his time, being so methodical as he always is. And yeah, TooDming, he has to jump on this.
Yeah, he does get that low HP tank, but only that single tank goes down as we see Cure is cutting off the army from the 4th base. He gets 2 hatcheries with this push. This is already an insane amount of damage. And from here, he can either consolidate his army or he can pull back home. But no, he's sending his reinforcements across the map.
Yeah, massive damage already. TooDming just does not have the gas to even morph in Banelings. He only has 6 Banelings getting morphed in here, and they will be nice with that Bane speed coming along, but I mean, Kyo can just snipe those down with the tanks. 2-2 on the way. We can see that Medivac Knight was pretty nice. There's not that much health on these Marines anymore, but there's just so many reinforcements.
Yeah, and it looks like the Ling counterattack has been caught out as well. Oh, we're going to be losing a lot, every single one of those things. Barely any do survive, and oh, that's we kill a Marine for that. Kyo is going to be able to continue to push on forward and lay siege upon the fresh 3rd.
Yeah, some serious frustration in the face of TooDming there. I think he got some dodgy pathing, but that was very convincing from Cure.
Yeah, very, very powerful performance out of Cure, going for his 2 ranks opener into that 3rd CC, into his, of course, eventual push. It was a very odd choice for TooDming to go into Mutas the way that he did. It makes sense on altitude, but specifically against that build, specifically against the opener of Cure, we can see how it's typically ill-advised to rush into Mutas like that.
Yeah, I think so. I think probably need to try something a little bit different this time round.
Yeah, definitely. And it is going to be TooDming's map of choice. Losers do get the map pick, so he is going to have the freedom to do so. And I'm sure that he won't be going for that Muta play again. I do feel like that's very iconic and very stylistic to altitude specifically. So regardless of what map we have, I'm sure TooDming is going to go for a very different style.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it was a bit of a weird choice because I guess the other thing that it could have been was a 4-axe, and a 4-axe just absolutely crushes that. You just die instantly.
Yeah, when you were talking about like the different variations, you're like, I'm having a hard time figuring out like what's the best case scenario, and I agree. Like whether it's a 4-axe pull up or even a 3-axe or even a 2-1-1. It's just, not ideal to have Mutas in that situation when your opponent is that bio heavy, that Marine heavy that early on.
Yeah, I mean, I know every time I'm playing Marine openers, I'm very happy to see Mutas. But with that, we are going to be seeing TooDming picking out Dragon Scales. That's unexpected.
Yeah, a bit of a smaller map here for TooDming. Smaller compared to altitude, I should say. It does have a shorter rush distance as well. I wonder if he does plan on being a little bit more aggressive here, whether it's Ling Bane oriented or even Roach oriented. An interesting choice.
Yeah, and I mean, therein kind of lies the problem with dealing with these kind of openers that Kira's going for. They're also very cheese-proof. I don't think any 12 pull or Roach all in or anything is going to be working here, but we'll see what he can come up with. Here he is in the bottom right-hand corner of the map for the Starving Camels. This is our Blue Zerg, TooDming.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Team ABYDOS. Once again, setting up that low ground racks. It is Cure. Yeah, and that's like another kind of added power here of the Beyond opener is that you do wall off quite quickly. You don't just wall off, but you have an abundance of Reapers to work with as well. So early pull timings, as you were saying, they don't really fare too well against this.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of... all these players have had the benefit as well of Beyond kind of putting in all the hard research of how to hold all these different things. Beyond's been playing this build pretty much exclusively for about a year, maybe a little bit more now. So there's so much of his experience and his experimentation that these players can draw on. Things that are kind of weird and unintuitive, like making a bunker outside of your wall and then putting marauders in it. He's kind of shown us the way with all of this, and we've been able to see players like Cure just emulating that with a lot of success.
Yeah, it's so interesting to think about, right? Where I remember at the start of the year, we would almost, I wouldn't say scoff, but like, question Beyond's motives when it comes to him opening constantly just 2 racks every single game. And at times it would work, at times it wouldn't, at times it would be punished. And it was a lot of trial and error from Beyond to really refine this style. And after he did, everyone jumped on it. Everyone's like, oh, you know what? This is pretty good. Thank you, Bjorn. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Those stories of like the famous scientists of old where they have these discoveries and all the other scientists mock them and say that it's like silly and they're like superstitious, and then after that scientist dies, their theories become like the leading theories that everyone works with.
That's actually happened a couple of times. It happened with Beyond's Turax. It also happened with Eric when the 15 hatch. Eric has been doing the 15 hatch for years, and I remember watching him at DreamHack, and the casters would question him. They'd be like, "Why is he doing this? What's going on?" And then everyone's doing it.
Yeah, like as soon as you have other players picking it up, and you know, being able to fall back on all this research that these players have done on their pet openings, I don't know. It's just it is quite funny to think about.
Yeah, definitely. As Kira is going for a very different follow-up. He's being quite aggressive here with his initial Reapers, and hey, he's, you know, doing damage. He's keeping the attention of TooDming busy here as, oh my god, he almost does. He's going for the Queen!
Yeah, the Queen does go down. This is almost reminiscent. I believe it was Beyond played a 3x Reaper against TooDming and had massive success. But, ooh, TooDming going for something a little bit different here. Going for a massive Bane bust, but he is going into a 4-rack. So, Cure once again getting the better of the openings. I feel like this is not a good situation for TooDming. The 4x deals extremely well with Bane busts.
Yeah, he's going to have so many Marines to work with. Even without bunkers, there's going to be so much DPS available. The splits, the focus firing, there's a lot here on TooDming. You can see TooDming shaking his head after losing that Overlord across the map as well. That is going to hurt him here as he is all in.
Yeah, he is supply blocked at a really crucial time here. He is going to be hitting nice and early, and Cure is kind of moving some of his Marines away, just to hide them from any potential scout. Also to keep them safe from a Bane bust like this. But yeah, I love this. The Reaper's out the front. That is so clever as well. He's going to be able to see anything that's coming his way with plenty of early notice.
Yeah, exactly. Plenty of forewarning as the Reapers are scouting. The Link Bane is getting ready. Banelings are finishing on up. That supply block did slow down TooDming's push, but he is now looking to execute it. And Cure hasn't really sniffed this out too much yet. He doesn't have too many Marines to work with.
Yeah, Cure definitely suspects something. He's got his Marines up on the main. I think he should have a second wall getting prepared there as well. Amazing grenades there as well. Going to be slowing this down, but there we go. He does pull back to the high ground. Throws down an eBay nice and quickly, and there are not enough Banelings to break through this. Really clever stuff from Cure.
Oh my god, good target firing as well. That was a kill on the engineering bay, but there's only one Baneling left, and one Baneling is not enough. Cure, he moves down to the low ground. He regains control of his natural, and he shuts this down.
Cure, as always, so well rehearsed, so intelligent and clean with his responses. Didn't have to risk any Bane snipes, any fancy splits or anything like that. Keeps all of his Marines alive.
Exactly. Very nicely handled here by Cure. And transitioning from here is not an option for TooDming. He is doubling down. We have more Banelings on the way. He is still very all in. He is going to be backing off here for a moment, but he may just be hoping to lure Cure into a false sense of security as we can see him, a little bit upset here at the game state.
Yeah, really frustrated with this game is TooDming. Maybe regretting his build choice as well. This can happen sometimes, you know, when you have these really big, important matches. You can sometimes come up with these very polarizing builds, these snipe builds, and, you know, in hindsight, looking back on it, when it doesn't work out, it can seem like a really dumb idea, but I definitely think it was a cool choice for him to go for something a bit weird.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, right, to give him credit, I'm sure he was just assuming that Cure would go for the same opener, right? Like 2 racks into a 3rd CC, not into 4 racks. So upon seeing the massive Marines, that's probably what TooDming was upset by like he gambled, he flipped the coin, and so did Cure in a way, and it just went in Cure's favor.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, he's going to feel pretty silly. I mean, Bane Bust, it's not a great build, but I like that he went for something weird. Cure as well, that was really clever. He throws down a scan on the natural, sees that the natural is not saturated, doesn't have the gases. So he knows he doesn't need to try to move out or anything. He can just hold this second wave and the game's in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, with that scan as well, he threw down a secondary wall, so there are layers here to the wall of Cure. He is more than prepared for the eventual bust. We have Marines, we have even just, more upgrades on the way as well. TooDming, he's got one final push in him, and if the stars align, maybe he can catch Cure not looking, maybe he can get some good connections.
Yeah, but TooDming, you can see him in the camera. He looks pretty defeated. He's pretty aware that this is very unlikely to work. He's going to give it a go anyway, morph in as many banelings as he can for this one final push.
Yeah, exactly. One and done. Cure, he's just chilling here. He's just, again, just macroing, working on his upgrades. Even just playing with his depots a little bit as he's going for a drop across the map. But this is designed to just cripple the economy here and just commit the all-in here for his opponent. Oh boy, there's not much at home to defend.
Yeah, so much confidence from Cure. He realizes when this tank comes out as well, that's pretty much the end of it. If this tank snipes down any banelings and that secondary wall doesn't get broken immediately, there is zero chance of this working. He shows the drop as well, so TooDming has to go for it now, I think.
He actually turns back around instead. He doesn't commit to the all-in. He's going to split up his forces. Looks like he wants to try to defend, both defend against the drop and also commit to his push. But again, the time is the game. It's working against him.
Yeah, I think he just has to go for it. He just has to go all in. This is... I mean, it's just going to get picked up, yeah, just like that. So this just keeps all of these forces back at home.
Yeah, the longer this goes on, the worse it is for TooDming. He is droning, by the way. It looks like he does intend to try to transition out of this, but the drops are moving out, so the tank has been spotted.
Yeah, he has a bit of a laugh when he sees the tank.
Yeah.
He knows this is pretty hopeless at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's maybe hoping for the army to move out, but here we go. He's pushing on forward. The banelings are rolling on in. He's going to be able to focus down some of those depots.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Yeah, that was a really cute idea, sending those links forward to try to escort the banelings as well, but no, Cure is just so solid.
So solid indeed. GG gets called, and Cure claims his 2-0. He takes down TooDming, and who is up next for the Starving Camels? They can field some more players here. They've got Cyan, they've got Firefly, potentially Silky as well. They need someone to stop Cure.
Yeah, that's right. Who is going to be able to take down Cure? This is where it gets a little bit worrying for the Starving Camels, because Cure is a quality of player that could ace any team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you mentioned it yourself. He is one of the best talents in the world. Straight up. He is just one of the best in StarCraft, and he has been shown to bleed in the past. I do want to say that both Cyan and Firefly, they have better chances. It is just really unlucky for Starving Camels to, field their first player and to see Cure waiting for them, right? Like, I'm sure they were not expecting ABYDOS to field their ace player as their starting player. So a really strong statement by ABYDOS, and now the Starving Camels, they need to deal with this problem. They need a solution to the Cure.
I would imagine as well that in the mind of ABYDOS, they know that they've got potentially a few more days of games ahead of them. If they can, send out Cure, get him to play the first few games, even if he does get knocked out, he can then maybe rest until the end of the next match.
True. Like, it's getting pretty late, and I'm sure Cure would need to rest here to make sure he's okay for tomorrow. And not just that, KSL is tomorrow in 12 hours, so you want to be well rested for that as well if Cure wanted to compete. So yeah, it does make a lot of sense here to field him out first, and to maybe even just save the energy of all the other players. Players like Creator, like SOS. They may want to reserve their strength and their builds for some of these other teams out there waiting for them.
Yeah, that's right. I think Cure is definitely going to be called on again if they do, progress further into the competition as a potential ace. So, maybe they're just testing his form a little bit as well.
Yeah, definitely. If you remember, Cure was absent in the weeks ending the WTL group stage. So maybe he's making up for that as well, being active, being there for his team, being there for his players. Meanwhile, who's going to do it? I know obviously Firefly, he's the ace player for the Starving Camels, of course. But do we save him? Do we try and risk it all and go for Cyan instead to try to see if he can do what he did in the past?
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty scary thing to go into, because I guess Firefly is your best chance. But at the same time, if you send out Firefly and it doesn't work, it kind of feels like it's all over right there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see Firefly not looking as confident as he was when they were going up against the Platinum Heroes. There's a much more serious look on his face.
Sure, if you remember when we were looking at these cams, Firefly, he was jovial, he was laughing, he was smiling, he was having a good time. It was everyone else who was a little bit more serious and stoic, and now the roles have been reversed. Or now, I mean, now it's all game faces, and here it is. It's Firefly.
Yeah, there we go. They are calling on Firefly, and you can tell he realizes the gravity of this situation. The fate of the Starving Camels pretty much comes down to whether he can take a game off Cure right here. I don't want to write off Cyan, but I have seen Cyan play against Cure quite a few times, and it feels like Cure's style is just a little bit too solid for the way that Cyan plays.
Yeah, exactly. A part of me was thinking like maybe they can use Cyan to like feel out Cure and to try to get a read on his TVP, and maybe they can use that for Firefly. But at the same time, like, do we want to waste a player in that way? Like, there's still so many more that ABYDOS can field, and we need as much strength as we can get if we want to bring them down. So here we go. The ace players are going to be facing off.
Yeah, we can see Cure looking very solid. Firefly actually having a really high win rate at that 15-minute mark as well, but Cure doesn't really drop off too much as that kind of ticks on. He is just strong in all parts of the game, and it's just going to be a really interesting clash of styles because Firefly does play a bit more defensively in this matchup.
He does. You know, he's not as cheeky as in some of the other matchups, so this is going to be a little bit more straight up. Also, what the hell is tech? Because I saw that Firefly, I think he had like 4% tech, and Cure had like 6% tech. It's like, what is that? What?
Wasn't I saying before? These kind of like weird arbitrary makeups. Like, I don't think anyone's going to have more than like 6 or 7% of whatever that is.
Yeah, like, what like, I thought like maybe it's like how hard they check up in a game, or is it like their technical, like mechanical skill? Is that what that means? Like, I
don't know. I have no idea what the scale is.
You know what? It is what we make of it. Okay, we can we can come up with what it could be later on. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh.
The tech is.
As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have the Chinese Protoss player for the Starving Camels, Firefly.
And spawning here in the top right-hand corner of the map, can he go all the way and get the first team kill? This is Cure.
Here we go, Firefly. He is the ace player. He's the best that the Starving Camels have to offer. We saw him really utilized to great effect against the Platinum Heroes earlier. Without Firefly, I don't know if they would have been able to pull that off. Can he do the same against Cure? Can he really make it count? Also, can he really bring forth like all of his skill here when it matters the most, when it counts the most against ABYDOS?
Yeah, I mean, I hope Firefly has got more in the tank because he was called on quite a lot in that last series, and this is going to be his toughest test yet, going up against Cure. We do see Firefly first checking for that eBay block before he goes across the map for the scout, and he has been very interesting in this matchup. Normally when I think of Firefly in PvT, I'm thinking of skipping Blink. He often goes Charge, and Colossus plays a very defensive style, defending drops mainly with cannons and such, and getting his Blink a little bit later, so a little bit unusual in that regard. But we also saw him take down Maru with a 4-gate Blink, so he does have a bit of aggression in his toolbox as well.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I haven't really seen too much 4-gate Blink recently at this competitive level. It feels like it's fallen off a little bit in favor of these more macro openers. So I'm more than willing to embrace that if Firefly does decide to be much more aggressive here instead, as Cure is going for a double gas opener.
Yeah, double gas coming out from Cure, so nice solid way to open, control the pace of the match as well, and maybe just put a bit of multitasking pressure on what he perceives to be a weaker opponent. But we're going to be starting off with 2 Reapers and a Hellion. He is unfortunately coming up against a Reaper Wall-Off at the top of the ramp here, which is a little bit annoying when you're playing this opener.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be denied entry into the main base, as we do have more units on the way. Meanwhile, we have our tech of choice. Firefly is going for that Twilight Council opener, not a Stargate, as Cure attempts to jump over that wall, but wasn't able to.
Yeah, I think the way that Firefly has positioned his buildings here, you can't jump, but you also can't hide the tech. So that's the trade-off.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see if... Well, we'll see when Cure is able to get eyes on said tech, as Firefly is just fully rolling off here at the natural base, gets that gateway up and running, and for now, Cure is forced back.
Yeah, Cure going to be pushed back because of that lack of ramp. He's not really going to be able to jump up and see too much. And oh, okay, Firefly has hidden that away from the pylon up here, so he does account for the fact that you can't hide tech on this particular pylon position.
Yeah, exactly. So for the time being, has kept that Twilight Council hidden from his opponent. Cure just applying a little bit of pressure, just doing some DPS to the Cybercore, nothing too major. It's really cool to see him make use of the terrain. He's got the Hellion to support his army, but for the most part is forced back.
Yeah, Cure just being annoying. Not too much he can get done with this, but oh, okay, it's going to be a Cyclone drop follow-up. This is something we've seen Beyond and Gumiho playing around with quite a lot in this matchup. And Gumiho in particular used this to great effect in this exact situation, where your opponent does go for a wall off here with the pylon a little bit closer to prevent the jump. You can actually try to snipe that pylon with a Cyclone.
Ooh, and we'll see if Cure can pull that off. We do see the Cyclone zooming across the map. 2 more gateways are thrown down, by the way, so I believe it is going to be 4 Gate Blink Stalkers from Firefly, but can he really get that underway? Can he get that going before Cure is able to disrupt him with that Cyclone?
Yeah, and a Tank and Viking follow-up coming out from Cure, so it looks like Cure is looking to go all in now.
Boy, yeah, he's just committing to his aggression. So far, good control out of Firefly, preserving his units, pulling back his Stalkers, but that Cybercore is under threat.
Yeah, that Cybercore is in some serious trouble. Cure taking the gateway units that are presented to him, trying to pick those off as well. He knows that Cybercore is pretty much a sure deal, but there we go. Big blink down onto the low ground. Ooh, not really what we want to be seeing from Firefly. Loses a lot of Stalkers, but he will save his Cybercore.
Yeah, it does save the Cybercore. He gets the medevac as well as the Cyclone, so he picks off the high-tech units, but it was a costly trade for Firefly. The tank has arrived. Firefly has to back off, wait for another warp, and again, it is 4 Gate Blink Stalkers, so he has a lot of production to work with, and he's looking to dive on that tank.
Actually, a bit of a weird situation for Cure because of that Unsiege and Firefly diving on top of this and being so aggressive with this defense. Cure actually in a little bit of a difficult position here. It looks like he is going to be bunkering up at home, setting that tank up and using a Banshee potentially for some counter damage.
That was a big moment, catching Cure on siege, taking down that tank. There is one more tank in the main base back at home, but Firefly now has the map control. He has momentum. He's actually expanding, taking a 3rd base behind this.
Yeah, and this is something that we saw as well in Firefly's PvP. He is so good at aggressively defending and pushing back these all-ins.
Yeah, exactly. As he dives on into the main base, he takes down the 2nd tank. Alas, he doesn't have enough to keep on pushing, though. He's running out of steam. The Banshee is revealed, and Cure holds on to his main.
Yeah, that's a lot of Stalkers to trade out for that tank. I do not think that was worth it for Firefly.
Yeah, exactly. Again, was a really expensive loss for him. But again, you know, he's taking his 3rd base behind it. He goes for another warp, and he's coming back in, looking to maybe snipe that tank or even the Banshee.
Yeah, going to be putting some damage on that Banshee. The Banshee does go down. Cure being forced to pull some workers, but the tank is putting in some serious damage. Oh, unfortunate bit of splash there on the Adept, and this is now getting a little bit dangerous for Cure.
Wow, the tank does go down. Really cute micro out of Firefly, very meticulously keeping all those Stalkers alive, forcing the splash damage. He's getting economic damage done.
Yeah, actually, beautiful micro from Firefly. This is fantastic stuff.
Really is, but can he keep this going? He's running out of units. The Stalkers are going down, but he gets 15 SCVs.
Yeah, some pretty cute micro coming out from Cure as well, using some hold position SCVs to try to stop those Zealots from getting on top of the Marines, but so many of those being on low health, the Stalkers are going to be finishing those off, and wow, Firefly is just getting so much out of this Stalkers. This is just brilliant stuff from him, but maybe a bridge too far.
Yeah, maybe overextending a little bit there. Firefly, he's forced to back off. He's done a phenomenal job so far. He's done so much economic damage. He's been shutting down the Banshees. He's been resetting the tank counts. Oh, but he's got to calm down.
Yeah, Firefly found the damage he needed there, and I think he pulls himself ahead now just because of how delayed Cure's stim was. Cure was really looking to set up an attack with the tank, with the Vikings, and really get some momentum going on his side. And Firefly's, aggressive brand of defense has stopped that in its tracks.
Really has. And now Firefly is getting his store base up running. We have +1 on the way. Charge as well. We are getting into our gateway production, and Firefly, for the most part, he has a map control. He's doing a great job at containing his opponents, and Cure is not going for a 2-base all-in. He's going for that 3rd CC, as we see Firefly once again dive on top of that tank.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Firefly being so aggressive in this situation. I think it might be a little bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he got the tank and he didn't lose too much, thankfully, but does he need to be this aggressive as he goes for another warp in here on the front lines?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier tonight. I think this is a little bit of a case of, you know, going up against such a strong player and wanting to turn a lead into a win straight away, not giving them the room to make a comeback. And I'm really not sure about this from Firefly.
Yeah, I mean, he gets another tank on the low ground. He's going to actually maintain control of the natural base. He's forcing a lot of those spine time, takes down a gas geyser as well. As you were saying, he has to be careful to overextend, but he goes for another warp and he wants to dive in.
Yeah, big warp in. Stim finishes up now, but with that warp in of the Zealots and the Stalkers, he might be able to overwhelm Cure. The Medevac's only here just now, and all the Marauders are getting focused down.
Marauders are being focused down. The boys are being pulled 18-20. SCV's falling here. Cure, he holds on, but he loses every single worker at the natural.
Yeah, I mean, Firefly really proving me wrong here. He is making this work. He is killing Cure right here, and I think he's done it.
Yeah, every time he blinks in, he takes down the tank, takes down the quite the raid, but he takes down these high-tech units. Oh my god, able to avoid that mine.
My goodness, and Micro Firefly is so slick and clean. He has been putting in some serious practice. We were talking him up before, and man, he is looking like a world beater right here.
Exactly. I mean, again, there's a reason why he's not just the ace player for the Starving Camels, but there's a reason why the Starving Camels are here in the playoffs of WTL. The natural is forced to be lifted up. We just see Cure trying desperately here to hold on to his base, once again pulling the boys.
Yeah, but every time these waves of Zealots coming in are doing so much damage. Firefly keeping all of his Stalkers alive on top of that as well. He has done the damage he needs. He could just back off now if he wants to, but he is taking a 4th behind this. Cure is down to 12 workers.
Barely any mining going on here for Cure. He's on 1 base economy. He has mules. The mules are pretty good. He can maybe hold on to his natural base, sorry, his main base, but how does he expand? How does he take control of the natural?
Yeah, Cure even shooting his own depot for a moment there. Clearly pretty flustered by the situation, but yeah, with those warp in of Zealots, no amount of micro can save you from this much firepower.
Yeah, exactly. As Firefly dives into the main base, blinks past the wall as well. We see Cure trying to hold on. He can't believe his eyes. It's Firefly.
He can't believe his eyes at all. He's going to fight to the very last of his supply, but GG is called, and Firefly, he has taken out the ace Cure.
GG, well played. Cure, his run will end here. Of course, he can still fight back, but he will be knocked out here by Firefly in the end. And what I also kind of find really interesting is that Firefly, it was amazing. He popped off. He took down Cure. Very little reaction there in the cams. He's still very serious. He's still taking this very seriously. He wants that 2-0.
Yeah, Firefly, I think that's a really good thing to point out. He is not just happy with the 1-1. He wants the 2-0. He wants all of them. He wants all of ABYDOS. He says, Cure or kill, no shot. Firefly or kill tonight.
Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. And again, a really strong start for Firefly. A good way to come back, a good way to gain some momentum here in this series. Momentum that was needed because, honestly, Cure versus TooDming was a little bit more of a wash. It was more one-sided, and it didn't set the tone well for this series. So great to see Firefly bouncing back like this.
Yeah, we were talking about it. Sending Firefly out to snipe Cure was definitely a risky play, not saving him till last. It was kind of going all in on taking out Cure, and they've succeeded. And so we continue on.
We continue on. As you're saying, Firefly still very, very serious here with this series. Still doesn't want to break character, doesn't want to let himself feel any joy yet. He's not satisfied with 1 win. He wants the second. He wants the 2-0 Cure.
Yeah, that's right. He is looking focused and locked in here. And Cure looking a little bit curious, kind of surprised by Firefly there. He is, you know, definitely considered the stronger player, but Firefly throwing that into question right now.
Exactly. Kira, I'm sure, just being very caught off guard by Firefly, not just by his play, but by a lot of the decision making, how aggressive he was, how in his face he was. And here we go. We're diving into game 2 on Gressvan. In the top left-hand corner for the Starving Camels, the ace player, the Chinese Protoss. It is Firefly.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, arguably the best TVP player in the world, but down at 1-0. This is Cure.
And I would echo that. Like coming into this, especially after Gamers 8 and a bunch of these performances recently, this year, I would say that Cure has arguably or has the best TVP in the world. But hey, it's Firefly. He's up against a starving camel, mate. Look, your stats, your numbers, they mean nothing here in the face of a camel.
Yeah, that's right. But here we go. Look at this. Cure sticking to his guns, going to be going for the double gas opener again, despite Firefly dealing really well with the aggression in that first game. So I guess that kind of shows that it wasn't a disrespect move or anything like that. He wasn't expecting to breeze through Firefly. He is confident in this build.
Yeah, and he's going for it again. Meanwhile, Firefly a little bit paranoid. He's looking for proxies. He doesn't want to get cheesed out in game number 2. He doesn't want to be done dirty. And as we can see, Cure isn't proxying, but Firefly is just confirming that.
Yeah, proxy rack's definitely something that's very strong on this map. It's something that Cure's shown quite a lot as well. He has used this map quite a lot of times to play proxy Marauder. He's one of the only Terrans that does go for that build still. And it looks like Firefly has done his research and knows the risk of that. So is making sure that if it's going to be like a proxy 2-rax Marauder with concussive or anything like that, that he does spot it early.
Exactly, and he's going to be able to rest easy here, recognizing that there is no proxy. Meanwhile, a shout out to the sponsors of WTL. Okay, Observer, I'll point them out. Shout out to Doyu, Taidu, Rio de Janeiro, and of course Hypergriff as well. Without those lovely sponsors, then WTL wouldn't be a thing. This event wouldn't be possible. So much love to the sponsors.
Yeah, there we go. As we do see, once again, Firefly going to be walling out this Reaper. Cure going for the 2 Reaper under the Hellion again. It didn't get too much done for him in that first game, but we do also have that extra Reaper jump to the south of that natural here to make use of.
Oh, exactly. As Akira is looking for a way in, trying to figure out the take of his opponent. Once again, 2 games in a row, Firefly is going for a Twilight Council opener. This time it is joined with that first pylon, so it could be a little bit easier to scout, as Cure is still being active here with his own Reaper, still trying to find a way in.
That's right, and Cure this time going to be going for a mine drop, so doesn't want to go for that Cyclone drop again. That really didn't do too well against Firefly's rock solid defense. I mean, the star of Firefly's play so far tonight has been his ability to just completely shut down all-ins.
Yeah, exactly. Time and time again. So Cure is going to have to take a different approach. Sure, the initial opener of double gases were the same, but we can see the follow-up is different with that mine drop. A lot more standard out of Cure, a lot less committed as the Reaper dips in and gets eyes on the Twilight Council.
Yeah, there we go. Blink has been spotted, so Cure going to be feeling pretty comfortable with his player here. Should just be going into a couple tanks, probably a Raven as well. Super standard stuff.
Definitely. Meanwhile, Firefly is not going for a 2-gate opener into a 3rd. He has a 3rd gateway on the way. We'll see if he throws down a 4th gateway as well to go into 4-gate Blink Stalkers. For the time being, it is only 3-gate Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. I mean, 2-gate against double gas is a very risky play. You're just hoping that they're going to be going for a very standard opening here. And Cure's already shown that he's willing to go for a more all-in play.
Yeah, exactly. So Firefly just going to be playing it out safely with this 3-gate opener. He can, of course, take a 3rd, but is just going to have an abundance of Stalkers to work with just to be safe and sound as the drop is coming in. And it's not just a mine drop. We have Marines in that medevac as well.
Yeah, a few Marines going to be paired up with this. Firefly, does just miss the drop, but no, he is going to be in position, get some good damage. Started off on this attack. And okay, how is this going to pair up? Good connections there for Cure.
Yeah, it takes down 4 probes and a Stalker as well. The Marines are focusing on every other worker that they can, and they get 7-8 probes.
Yeah, great damage. Looks like Firefly was a little bit distracted by this Reaper Hellion. It looks like they might have been knocking at the front door there while all this was going on, and Firefly was focusing on not letting those in, but 9 probes going to be going down in total.
9 probes and a Stalker. A great trade for Cure. I believe he kept his medevac alive as well. I think it's still there in the dead space. No other units did make it out, unfortunately, but for the most part, Cure has done a great amount of damage.
Yeah, that's right. And now you can set up on these tanks on either side of this high ground in that main, and they'll do a fantastic job covering each other. This is a map that Terran players have kind of worked out how to hold Stalker, Blink Stalker aggression quite effectively here.
Yeah, exactly. The SimCity is looking on point for Cure. Again, going to be just really solidifying himself here on these 2 bases. Behind this, interesting, Firefly is opting for a bit of a different variation or a different follow-up, as it looks like the medevac did get shut down, but we are not going for Robotics Bay, we're not going for Colossi, we're going into Templar Archives.
Yeah, really nice. This does match up really well with Raven openers like this. Storm is so good for shutting down these kind of pushes. If you do land a big Storm drop on the army as it moves out, you don't quite have the reinforcing power of a more economic opening. So this can be a really brutal way to shut down this kind of player.
Definitely, as we commit to the shade, we're trying to force some friendly fire. We do get 1 shot, but no, Cure, he does unsiege, does minimize his losses.
Yeah, but I have to point out, Firefly is playing with so much confidence. He's really taking it to Cure and looking to bully him. And wow, 5 SCVs going down in total. That's fantastic damage for 2 attacks.
Really cool to see Firefly just testing the multitasking and the speed of his opponent, as we have some Raven harassers across the map. 2 probes go down, but again, not too bad here. Firefly, he was able to react in time, pull back as we see a scan, and we get confirmation of the storm.
Yeah, Storm does get spotted. We see those extra gateways are starting to go down now. But yeah, Firefly already, once again, looking really confident overall.
Yeah, exactly. And not too cocky either, which I think is important as he is getting into his gateway explosion. Cure working towards his 3rd CC. It is on the way in his main base. And behind it, he's going for a double drop across map, looking to be assertive, looking to apply some pressure alongside that Raven.
Yeah, really good reaction. This is how Mario was playing against Hero when Hero was using Storm as a counter to double gas. Basically, the reason Storm works so well against the double gas is if it can catch a move out going across the center of the map. But by splitting up your forces and using multi-prong, using drops, that can be a good way to counter this.
Exactly, you know, maybe waste some storms, maybe snipe some High Templar, just kind of counteract the advantages that the Protoss player has. Oh my god, almost catching the Prism in the center of the map.
Yeah, Cure just being so active, but big storms coming out from Firefly. That is what this is designed to do, this little drop here. And there's going to be a bit of a mini game between these 2 players playing out for the rest of the game, where Firefly is trying to land these massive storms and Cure is trying to take out that Prism.
There we go. He does recall the Prism back home. The double drop is head towards the main base. At the same time, we have a Widowmine drop head towards the 3rd of Firefly. He is going to be able to react in time. He takes down 1 mine, and the other is going to go up. Oof.
Yeah, he storms it, but good retarget from Cure. He is going to snipe down that High Templar.
High Templar goes down. Double drop slips into the main base. Is there anything here to respond? No shield battery, no cannon, no nothing. Probes are going down.
Yeah, those High Templars as well, they are so immobile. That's why this drop style is so effective, because you're going to be a little bit short on Stalkers, and it's a little bit, it's quite difficult as well to get these High Templar into position.
It really is, and this drop is not being cleaned up, or it's taking a little bit too long. 18 probes go down. The entire mineral line has fallen. This drop has just gotten far too much damage.
Yeah, fantastic damage from Cure. That gets him on the front foot as well. He can probably look to land this 3rd now.
Yeah, 3rd can be landed. He also depowered the Forge and is going to be delaying +1 armor as well. So the upgrades are now just not going to be lining up for Firefly. He's pushing out across the map. He does have a decent army here. He's hoping to maybe catch Cure while he's taking his 3rd base. But it is quite a risky move to go for, and an ambitious move as well.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like Firefly recognizes how much damage has been dealt to him, and he has to go somewhat all in here with this Storm Bust.
And we really got to try to bust into the natural base. The tanks are in position. A good Storm on the bio.
Yeah, massive Storm goes down on the bio. Cure being forced to run back through that to try to land some EMPs. The Archon does get taken out, which is quite crucial. The tank is landing a lot of damage. I think with the SCV pool, we might be able to finish it off, but clutch Storm coming in there.
Yeah, at the same time, we have a drop across the map, and there's not much at home to defend. Firefly has to give up his 3rd base. He is now just completely all in. He has busted into the natural base. He's achieved more than I thought would be possible, but he's still losing a lot across the map.
Yeah, that's right. And this is not a good army for Firefly here. Cure knows that, so he's really taking his time. He doesn't need to clean this up straight away. He can just try to keep his CC, try to keep his SCVs as well. But when the time comes, he will be able to jump on this.
Another big storm on the army once again of Cure, but we're running out of units. We only have a couple of Stalkers left and Marauders. They clean them up, and Cure deals with the main army of Firefly.
Yeah, the Stalker's going to be going down. This Archon trying to be as annoying as it can before it does get taken out. Firefly with just so much attention to spare, so much speed, but he is pretty much dead at this point.
Yeah, he doesn't have the economy. He doesn't have the army. He lost his third base, and you can see him again, looking a little bit frustrated in his chair. I mean, he already did almost the impossible, right? He was able to take a map off of Cure, but...
Cure is so slick. I can't believe he saved that Marauder. That's just ridiculous.
Just flexing his control a little bit on a Firefly, and... yeah, with this game, Cure, he's looking to bring down his opponent. GG gets called, and Cure takes game 2 against Firefly.
Yeah, Cure is just showing off. Those Marauder saves were so clean. But there we go. 1-1. Both of these star players are going to be putting the headsets down and taking a bit of a backseat for the rest of this, unless it goes to an ace match.
Exactly, and shout out to Firefly. He did so well bringing down Cure with him, but as we saw, like, clearly he wanted more. He wanted to try to get more momentum going his way because there's still so many powerful and strong players on ABYDOS.
Yeah, that is right. We still have some pretty strong players in the chamber here for ABYDOS. They have been able to call on quite a few of them. Creator, of course, one of the best Protosses in the world. Nightmare has been really popping off in the last couple of years. He looks like he can take down just about anyone.
Yeah, you could almost argue that Nightmare has surpassed Creator. Like, they're pretty similar in skill nowadays. Nightmare has been looking so damn good, not just in online tournaments, but even in offline events as well. So plenty of powerful Protosses are available for ABYDOS, and they can even kind of like dig deeper into their pockets, and they've got a couple of like up-and-coming players. If they want to give them the opportunity to, they can play players like Genio or Quanta or SOS. Like, he's also been fielded a couple of times in this tournament.
Yeah, or Mondo as well. I remember Mondo getting a win. That was a really cool moment.
Yeah, Mondo, Bobby, could come out as well. Oh boy, so ABYDOS, they've got options, definitely. Meanwhile, the Starving Camels, not so much. I believe they can field Cyan, and I believe Silky is not available today, so they're going to have to fall back on their next Protoss.
Yeah, that's right. And at least they're not going to be facing Cure, so I feel like they should be pretty confident that they're going to be sending someone into a PvP. And, you know, anything can happen in a PvP. I feel like if they come well prepared, they can definitely snipe and trade out at worst.
True. You're not wrong. Like, Cyan, he definitely has it in him here to take a game, take a PvP here against a player like Nightmare or Creator. Obviously, Cyan isn't favored, but taking a game is something that he can do. He's done it before. He can do it again. And if that is the case, if he's able to do that, then again, he's going to be forcing out more players. He could even, and that would, of course, lead into a revive, but we can bring back Firefly and maybe get momentum back again.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it all kind of will come down to these last few matches, but there we go. Cyan has been picked out for the Starving Camels, and if it is going to be a PvP, I feel like Cyan is very strong in PvP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is very strong indeed. Here we go. Cyan is coming out, but who is his opponent? There it is. Oh, it's Creator.
Okay, so ABYDOS continuing with their strategy of just sending out the strongest available player is going to be fielding Creator. And yeah, Creator, here he is in his with his high-tech toilet in the background, of course.
Let's go, mate. Let's go. The Roomba toilets futuristic room is here, and it looks like they gave Creator some extra mental points, which I appreciate. I think in that graphic, but here, oh my god. Those are some big bars.
Yeah, is that Creator in the red?
I think so.
Why do they have him with 66 score if he's winning all these games?
Look, they just do Creator dirty, okay? They're so mean to him. They're so mean. He's amazing. He's beautiful. Oh my god. As what is that? 100% win rates in 10-minute games and in 20-minute games? Jesus.
Yeah, looks like it.
God. The numbers, they don't lie.
Yeah, and I didn't really notice this either, but Starving Camels, they are down to their last life with Cyan. If he does get taken out, they're going to be forced to rely on an ace, most likely at Firefly. So Cyan is really going to want to take a game off Creator at the very least.
Exactly. You want to make things as easy as possible for that revived player, for, we imagine, we speculate, Firefly.
SSLT versus ABYDOS Game 3， 就让比赛开始吧。
Let's go. Do you know what's being said, by the way? Do you?
No, of course not.
Okay. As we're getting into this, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon for the Starving Camels, it is Cyan.
If it's not about someone's mum,
Oh my god.
I have no idea what it is. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map for ABYDOS, this is Creator.
Oh, we're getting some translations in the chat. Let's go.
Match begin.
Let's get this show on the road. As we are getting into this, again, the pressure is on Cyan here. Pressure on him to try to bring down the Titan that is Creator. So far, gate expands are being set up from both players.
Yeah, okay. We do see Creator going straight into his second gas as well. So maybe an indicator that he wants to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, he's going to have the availability here to throw down a faster Stargate or a faster tech in general, especially if his Nexus is delayed. So he'll be more willing to accept that fate here, as both players are being as annoying as possible, delaying those Nexi.
Yeah, both players going to be trying to block this out. Cyan actually going for the Nexus there, got pretty close to dropping that down, which would have been a massive advantage for him, but I'm not going to be seeing that just yet.
Yeah, he was trying to go for a gate expand, but he was denied that. Is going to have to go for that Cyber Core instead. Both players have their Zealots on the way. Oh, and Cyan just being very careful here not to allow that pylon to finish. Doesn't want to waste any resources.
Yeah, okay. Curiously as well, Cyan really delays taking his second gas.
Yeah, he really does, and that does kind of pigeonhole him into really wanting that expansion and really looking for that for that Nexus. As doing a great job at delaying here, but the Zealot is out, and these pylons are going to get shut down.
Oh, yeah, they are. As Creator, he does finish off that pylon, dips back on in there. I think if he notices how late that gas is as well, he could potentially go for the cyber block, but seeing him take an extra hit on that probe, it looks like he's not too focused on doing that.
Well, I think that's why he let the pylon finish, to be honest. As like we saw Cyan cancel his own across the map, but because of the delayed gas, Creator knows how important that Nexus is, and Cyan is forced to throw down a Robo.
Okay, Robo does go down. Creator sending a Zealot across the map now, trying to see what damage he can get here, as that pylon is finally taken out and the Nexus does start.
Yeah, this is just a really interesting opener from Cyan, right? Typically, we don't really see Robos in this situation. So we have a Stargate opener from Creator. We have a Robo opener from Cyan.
Yeah, as you're saying, Stargate or Twilight is usually what we see, whether it be a 3-gate blink or the Oracle opening, which has become a bit more standard lately. As Creator looking to put some pressure on, using that Zealot to soak up some hits, but the Sentry comes out just in time. I don't think it's enough though. Wow, Creator is actually getting a lot of damage on this Stalker.
Yeah, he takes out both Stalkers. He's looking for that Sentry as well. Boys have to be pulled. They're trying to lock down the Stalker, but no, the Sentry goes down as well.
Yeah, Creator really flexing his micro, trying to show that he is a Protoss in another echelon, just completely overpowering Cyan. And yeah, we see Cyan puffing up his cheeks here. He knows that he has got a serious test ahead of him. If not in this game, maybe in the next one.
Yeah, as we even recall back home, the Stalker is going to be saved. Creator snowballing out of control with only 3 units, and this early on losing 6 probes is devastating. Cyan doesn't have a good start here in game 1. He's got quite a lot to overcome.
I feel like sometimes we forget that Creator is one of the best Protosses in the world, just because most of the time when we see him, it's in GSL, and we're seeing him, you know, lose to like a Maru or like a Hero or someone or like Dark. But when he's not against one of the top 5 players in the world, like he's right up there.
Oh yeah, he really is, and I think a lot of people do overlook him as a result, but here in WTL, he's able to really showcase that skill. He's working towards Blink. He's got 2 more gateways on the way. He's going for a follow-up massive Blink Stalker push, and back at home, Cyan is still trying to recover.
Yeah, that's right. This Oracle going to dip in. It does see everything that's going on here, threatening counterattack as well. So Cyan has to know that he is taking a bit of a risk sending his units out. And yeah, Creator really going to be respecting this as well, getting a Void Ray to help deal with the Stalkers.
Yeah, I love it. Like, he saw the Prism moving out, so the answer to the Prism is going to be the Void Ray. It's going to be a great kind of anchor point for Creator's army, and here we go. Cyan is rocking up. He's got an Immortal. He's got Shield Batteries. Sorry, he's got Sentries, but he's up against Shield Batteries.
Yeah, that's right. And with only 4 Stalkers, a Void Ray and a Shield Battery should be absolutely fine to deal with this.
Yeah, there just isn't enough here available for Cyan. He's going to be focusing on that Cyber Core, but the Overcharge is going to keep it alive. At the same time, the Oracle comes in across the map and is getting some more probe kills.
Yeah, that's right. The control from Creator, absolutely beautiful. So tidy with this. And there we go. He's going to be using that Overcharge here, just trying to push back these Stalkers, limit the DPS.
Yeah, it looks like the Gateway is going to be focused down, but no, the Gateway survives. Cyan, he bleeds out too many units, and Creator holds on to his natural without losing too much at all. The Void Ray count getting higher. Blink is about to finish up, and once it does, Creator can be the aggressor.
Yeah, these Stalkers are still a little bit too low, so Cyan makes the mature decision. He's going to be backing off, holding his units, you know, getting ready to fight another day here. But behind this Creator, as you were saying, Blink finishing up, a few more gateways finishing up as well, so he should be confident to get out on the map now.
Exactly. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have a way to reinforce across the map. He doesn't have a Robo. He doesn't have a War Prism. He's actually taking a 3rd base behind this. So really just applying some pressure. If he gets damaged, that's great. If not, well, I mean, he's just getting ahead economically anyway.
Yeah, as long as he can just sit out here, pick off some units, pressure Cyan, and stop him from taking his base, he's just going to be pulling ahead here.
Yeah, exactly. As he does poke into that natural, does trigger the shields. Almost takes down a probe as well. And Creator getting a little bit adventurous, but he can afford to because he has that Blink.
Yeah, Creator getting very aggressive. Feeling quite confident in his micro here. Behind this going into charge as well. Cyan still a long ways off with his Blink, so he's going to get bullied for a little while now.
Yeah, now that we have high ground vision with those Void Rays, that Cyber Core, I feel like it is going to go down. The Overcharge is going to try to keep it alive, but there's just so much DPS available, and the Cyber Core up is going to fall.
Yeah, a bit of a role reversal there from that push that we saw before, but Creator, unlike Cyan, actually is going to be able to get the damage that he's looking for here. Takes out the Cyber Core, takes out the Gateway as well, so that is just going to slow down Cyan even more if he wanted to take that 3rd anytime soon.
And after that damage was done, Creator, he backs off, he goes back home, which means he's going to be in the vicinity, he's going to be in the area for the War Prism harass, as Cyan is sending a War Prism towards the northern portion of the map, is looking to maybe try to slip into the main base. Actually going to try to warp in some Dark Templar, as the Dark Shrine is in production for Cyan.
Yep, Cyan realizing that there is not really much hope for him to save the game by going into a 3rd base and macroing out. He has to find a way to catch Creator, maybe in transition, maybe being a little bit too greedy with his economy or something like that. And he's going to be setting up a pretty similar attack to what we saw against DNS.
Yeah, exactly. 4 more gates are on the way for Cyan. He's going to be quite committed here with his aggression. Does meet the army of Creator, but he's distracting the army of Creator and creating room for that Prism to go in, but he's bleeding out a lot of units.
Yeah, Creator sniping out some Stalkers here, and he does have a Zealot charge finished up now.
Does have that charge. Meanwhile, does Creator have detection available? That's going to be the next question, as we do have the Prism slipping on in. I mean, I guess he has a Stargate. He can chrono out an Oracle if he needs to, but the DCs, they do dive in.
Yeah, GT's going to be coming in. Quick cancel on the third by Cyan, so Creator's going to be happy to just contain him and keep him off that third for now. As the DTs do jump in, we have it in picture-in-picture for some reason.
We could just look at it. The prism goes down, and it looks like we did have a revelation on the DTs as they are also being cleaned up. Look, we really just had to look at the army being idle, okay, Ashley? It was very important.
Yeah, no, that was the focus of the moment.
Yeah.
As this one DT still has not been cleaned up. Looks like the Oracle might not have had that energy for a revelation, but a revelation that does in fact go down. 11 probes in total being taken out. Great damage, but not really enough.
Exactly. Like, the economy is slowed down from Creator, but he's still ahead because he has a third base. You know, he's still in a commanding position. His army is still looking terrifying. Cyan needed to do more, and he's just now trying to establish his own third, but again, he's still one step behind.
Yeah, that's right. And Creator, he has so many charge lots at this point. Any fight that happens in the open is going to be fantastic for him.
Yeah, it really is. As Creator, looks like he's maybe going to be waiting for his upgrades to kick in. He's got cannons on the way to help deal with those DTs, +1 on the horizon. And here we go. Creator is pushing out with a pretty intense army.
Yeah, it's a massive army. Cyan does not have anything that can compete with this, and what he does have is getting picked off with such aggression.
Yeah, we do have a recall, but a couple of Stalkers are getting picked off before the recall can complete. Once again, Cyan, there's no way for him to hold on to his third base. He's going to be contained to 2 bases perpetually throughout this entire game. Force fields are thrown down to try to provide some SimCity here for our blue Protoss player, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, he slows down the Zealots, but it's not good enough. Cyan is taken down by some beautifully clean play from Creator.
GG, well played. From almost the beginning of the game, Creator, he found himself a lead. He found himself ahead, and he never really let go of that lead. So a powerful performance out of Creator. Cyan, rough start, but has a chance to bring it all back.
Yeah, that's right. Creator was pretty much ahead from that first moment where he sent in the Zealot and the 2 Stalkers, really flexed his micro there on Cyan and never let go of the game from there. So I think Cyan could be proud that he still was making things happen in that game. Like, he didn't look like he was completely overpowered despite being so far behind. But yeah, he's going to have to do a little bit better in the opening this time.
Exactly. And part of it also comes down to that delayed gas, guys. All right, it all kind of snowballed out of control where we saw Creator who was just able to throw a wrench in the works into the opener of Cyan, just delay that Nexus for so long, and yeah, really be assertive with his first couple of units. We have seen Cyan take down some big Protoss players in the past, so he has it in him definitely, but he needs to bring it all out here and now.
Yeah, this is going to be the moment to bring it out for Cyan. I really do feel like he has to win this game. It's a pretty big ask for the Ace to take out Creator, and then another ABYDOS player, and then the Ace. So yeah, we'll see.
Exactly. I mean, if anyone can do it on the Starving Camels, I want to believe that it's going to be Firefly. But, you know, we want to make it as, you know, we want to make his road as easy as possible. So Cyan looking to try to bring down his opponent. And I just said his name, but here he is for the Starving Camels, the Chinese Protoss player. It is Cyan.
Yeah, really lingering on him. Yeah. And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, it is the Protoss for ABYDOS. Not going to clinch things out right out the win here. This is Creator.
Here we go. Ancient Cistern, a pretty large map here in the map pool. It looks like Cyan, he just wants some breathing room. He wants his opponent to just back off and just give him the time he needs to get up on 2 bases, even establish a 3rd base as well. I think we've spoken about this before, but Cyan, he isn't the most cheesy or aggressive player. Like, sure, he can go for 2 base or 3 base all-ins, but especially in the early game, I don't know if we really see too many proxies out of our blue Protoss.
Yeah, I would be kind of surprised to see that, but yeah, here we go. We are going to be seeing 2 gate openers coming out from both players. Cyan actually starting out with the 1 gate. Potentially, we could be seeing him go for that same play that he used in that last game. Sorry, not the play that he used. The play that Firefly used in that game against DNS. Just going for that fast expand off the high ground wall.
This is so risky. So Cyan goes for a gate expand, a very greedy opener on Ancient Cistern. There is no ramp at the natural base. It is typically just, you don't have that added defensive feature available to you with the high ground. So he's kind of goading Creator into an all-in.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we saw. Firefly using against DNS on Grassfan, which also didn't have the ramp. It's a bit of a surprise move where, because that probe goes up to see the high ground wall, you're expecting to see 2 gates, and that Nexus can be just dropped before you're even thinking to block it. But yeah, it kind of demands an all-in, so let's see how Creator responds.
Exactly. As for the time being, he's throwing down a Stargate back at home. No massive overreaction out of Creator yet. It looks like he may just look to, take this on the chin instead. But we'll see. We'll see. As the probe is coming back in, just getting confirmation. Shield battery already on the way on the low ground for Cyan.
Okay, we see Stargates coming out from both players, so that's a good start for Cyan, I think. Does get the nice matchup of techs there, and kind of interesting. Creator not going to be going for like a 4-gate all-in or anything like that. Not going to be going for a 3-gate robo like we saw out of DNS. Just rather calmly playing his standard build. Adepts into Oracle. This is just pretty stock standard PvP.
This is really impressive here out of Creator. He's planning to play from behind as long as he gets economic damage done. We do have 2 Adepts getting into that mineral line. 5 probes already going down. He can get more.
Yeah, 6, 7 probes going to be going down in total. Completely takes out the mining of that natural base there. And with that, ties up the probes. And the Oracle is still coming.
So we saw it last time, right? We saw it in the last series where Firefly, he pulled down his pants, and you know what? DNS, he reciprocated, right?
Yeah.
Here, this Creator, he's not reacting. He's like, sir, look, I'm here
never
to...
worn pants in my life.
He's just not flinching, not reacting, because he is just annihilating the mineral line. Any kind of economic advantage that this Nexus would have given Cyan, it's kind of being stripped away from him.
It's like, mate, I'm sorry, but I'm bigger.
What are you trying to prove right now? You look like a fool.
Wow.
As we do see 11 probes going down by both the Adepts and the Oracles. 18 in a total. And just again, despite the economic overrun from Cyan, he's behind.
Yeah, flawless Oracle micro coming out from Creator, really maximizing the damage. And once again, these probes are going to have to run back to the shield battery. They are going to be doing that, but there is nothing in the main to protect. We did have the revelation from Creator, so he can see that there's only 1 Stalker here, and he is just churning through all of these probes. This is a dominating response from Creator.
Exactly. Meanwhile, across the map, he went for Phoenixes because he saw the Stargate open of his opponent. An Oracle goes down. Very little counter damage is dealt. Creator just shutting down the Oracle aggression of Cyan.
This is stunning play from Creator. He's showing that he is in a league of his own when it comes to the Protoss players in this competition.
He is. He's making sure we are all aware of that. As he's continuing Phoenix production, he's aware that there's still 1 Oracle out on the map. Cyan going to try and slip into the main base towards the southern portion instead. But he is hurting. He's crippled. His economy has a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, the gas is just dribbling in now. All of the resources really are just dribbling it in. Creator is so very far ahead, and he is desperately now trying to get some damage back on his side, but Creator just very patiently moves those probes out of the way, takes out the Oracle, and I just don't really see a good way for Cyan to get back into this one.
Yeah, especially with the death of those Oracles, he just doesn't really have too much of a presence on the map. Cyan's still struggling to recover economically, and Creator now has the map control. Now that he knows that both Oracles are dead, he can be active with these Phoenixes. He can maybe even look to get even more probe damage.
Yeah, Creator just looking around, trying to see if there's anything out on the map that he can pick up, any scouting units that he can take out or anything like that. But all in all, he can just sit back, continue to play a very standard, tidy game, and he's just in the driver's seat here.
He really is. And with this, he's getting into a Twilight Council for Blink Stalkers. We have Immortal production already on the way as well. With that Immortal means that we have a Robo, which means we have access to Observers. So in case Cyan goes for a Dark Shrine, Creator is already covering his bases. He already has access to detection.
Yeah, Creator's going to tell Cyan, we put the pants back on, all right, buddy? We put them back on. We know now. We put them back on. That's enough.
I'll keep mine off, but you can put yours on.
Oh, of course.
Jesus. So far just a dominant, not just game, but series here from Creator. Additional gateways are being thrown down as well. Interesting. So Creator, he's opting not to throw down a third base. He is doubling down on his 2-base play.
Yeah, Creator choosing to all in on 2 bases. Not something I see a lot in PvP. I have seen Creator in PvZ throw some incredibly won games by all-inning, but hopefully that is not going to be the case here.
Fingers crossed. That happened again recently, by the way, and I made reference to the
build,
WTL
right?
match. Yeah, it was
like
the same
Immortal
build.
Yep.
Yep. He did a lot of damage early on. Then he went for an Immortal Sentry all in, and he did not kill his opponent. He died.
Yeah, it does seem to be a bit of a tendency from Creator to all in when he does get ahead, but luckily from him, Cyan is trying to take a third, so I feel like they will match up nicely here.
Definitely. Oh, as a Creator is moving out across him, he has a massive army available to him. We've got Charge on the way at Templar Archives for Storm. For Archons, my apologies, to get into that if he needs to, but he may not need to, as he's arrived here at the natural base for Cyan.
Yeah, here we go. He's going to be charging straight on in. Zealot's getting on top of the probes. We do have those Stalkers focusing down the shield battery overcharge, and they will get the kill on that. And yeah, now we do see the Zealots just churning through the probes. Entire mineral line's going to be going down, and there is nothing left to protect these Stalkers.
Yeah, the shield batteries went down. There's no overcharge remaining here for Cyan. He's going to force back the army, but he just lost 19 workers. This is already worth it for Creator. From here, he can try to just head towards the 30. He can just focus down that Nexus, or he can just go for the main army, and he wants to go for the kill.
Yeah, I love that pullback from Creator as well. He realizes he's killed all the probes. Like, what else is there to do? So he just pulls back, regains his forces, gets the shields back on those Zealots, and now he dips back in.
Yeah, dives it back on in, focuses down the pylons, even more probes. As he's distracting the main army, we actually have Zealots dealing with the third base of his opponent. Stasis Trap goes off only on a single Stalker, but there's another Stasis Trap behind this.
Yeah, and there we go. Creator realizes just how far ahead he is. Shield battery overcharge is committed again, so he is going to be getting off for the moment.
Oh, he wants to bait him in! Up! He wants it! He gets it!
Oh, that's so cheeky. Creator just styling on Cyan, really showing him who the boss is here, and with that Prism coming in for the micro and the reinforcements, that is definitely going to be a GG is called.
GG, well played. Creator will take the 2-0 here over Cyan, taking down the final player of the Starving Camels. But it's not over, because the Starving Camels, they have a revive. They can bring someone back.
Yeah, okay. So Starving Camels, they are going to be looking to put up a final fight here against ABYDOS. Whoever they pick does have to beat both Creator and whoever the third player is as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a momentous task for whoever is revived. Bring down Creator, bring down the third player from Team ABYDOS, and the revived player as well. 3 best of 2s they need to work through without dropping a map. That's the other big kind of a caveat to that, is that they cannot afford to drop a map. Otherwise, that'll be the end of the series.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be really tough. I mean, we're most likely going to be seeing Firefly picked out, but even for Firefly to 2-0 Creator, that's not easy.
That's the thing. Whoever it is, and it's probably going to be Firefly, as you mentioned, he needs to 2-0 Creator. He needs to 2-0. And after seeing Creator dominate Cyan the way that he did, after seeing his PvP, that's going to be so difficult. I can see a world where Firefly can take a map, but take 2 games in a row, especially with if he takes game one, especially with Creator having a map pick available, oh god, there's a lot working against it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, good point. Creator's going to be able to pick out that second map, and yeah, PvP, it's going to be tough. Creator looked so clean and so tidy there. It was really interesting to see him respond to that fast Nexus, not by all inning, but just by, using the weakness and the lack of units to get so much damage.
He's like, okay, I'll take my own expansion. I'll harass with some adepts, with some oracles, and we'll see if you can keep up, buddy. And the answer was no, he could not keep up. So just a very, again, powerful showing from Creator. If you're in the chat, the Starving Camels, they need your energy right now. They've done it before. They have caused upsets. They've brought down these big teams. They brought down ABYDOS in the round robin group stage. Can they do it again? It looks like the players are currently deciding amongst themselves. They are trying to deliberate, and it is a mixing bowl. Oh my god, let's go.
And I missed it.
Cyan, he just took a swig from his bowl, and it was revealed, and yeah, it's
a mixing bowl. Beautiful. It's full of wet dough.
Right, well, like when I think of a mixing bowl, I think of like damper or something, like yeah, it's thick.
Oh, let's go. Spit, TooDming. Spit fire. He's just talking Firefly up. He's like, you're the best, you're the strongest, you're the most powerful. I could not believe my eyes. 10,000 Fireflies descended upon Creator tonight.
You're the biggest, Papi. You're the biggest. There's no one else bigger than you. Creator, he was looking good, but nah, he ain't nothing compared to the Firefly.
Man, take the pants off. Henda GG.
Oh, God. So, yeah, they're just talking it out. I'm sure maybe even TooDming is talking about Creator's playstyle, maybe even. They could just be talking about, like, what they want to do, how they want to approach him, the builds they want to go for, the maps. As a reminder, I guess we do have access to that. The next map, the starting map, I should say, is going to be on Gressvan.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I mean, if they already know that they're picking Firefly, there's no reason not to just act like they're deliberating and talk strategy with him for a little while.
Yeah. Use the time that they have available to themselves. Oh, as they are just, coming together, forming a game plan to bring down Creator. Really, TooDming, he's talking about something else, actually. He's he's talking about his night out. He's like, and then I said to her, you're not coming home with me. I'm already seeing Wendy, and she's at home waiting for me. But you can give me your number. I'll hit you up later, I didn't even care. It doesn't even matter,
Yeah. If you can wait, if you can get an Uber at 5 a.m., I'll still be up. I'll kick her out. I was just like, interesting. You're an animal. A terrible person. Okay, we do have a raid as well. Lambo hitting us with the raid. Thank you very much. Hope you had a great stream.
Yo, thank you so much. Shout out to Lambo. He's, of course, an amazing player, an amazing streamer. Was, of course, competing WTL earlier. We are here in the playoffs of World Team League. So we're actually here towards the tail end of the broadcast. We only have a couple of matches remaining. It is all on the Starving Camels, all on SSLT to figure out who they revive to bring down Creator.
Yeah, that's right. We already saw Firefly going 1-1 with Cure, so was able to take out Cure, stop him from rampaging through the whole team, but then Creator 2-0'd Cyan, and now it does come down to potentially Firefly trying to get the reverse sweep.
There's no shot that they bring anyone else out, right? There's like no way. No way.
I don't think so. Firefly is just too well balanced all around compared to some of the other players, and there he is. It is going to be Firefly picked out. He's taken them so far in this competition, and with their life on the line, with potentially their last games of this season in front of them, it is all going to come down to him.
Exactly. It all comes down to this. Firefly, he was looking so good against the Platinum Heroes. He even brought down Cure earlier, just a couple of games ago. But now he has to bring down the rest of Team ABYDOS, Creator, as well as the next player, as well as the revived player. But maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves. First things first, he needs to 2-0 Creator.
I just want to point out as well, the admins, they've given Creator a worse score than Firefly. They've given him 66. This is like top 4 Protoss in the world.
Yeah.
66.
They're so dirty. Like to Creator, like I know, right? Like he's so wholesome. He's such a good guy as well, you know. Like he, Smooch.
Oh, like we saw him rage when he lost in the GSL like round of 4. So we're gonna put him 0 mindset.
That's pretty much what they've done. That's pretty much what they've done. But as we know, as we've seen, Creator, he's an amazing player. He's a terrifying opponent. Oh god, and we'll see if Firefly can bring him to his knees. He's done it before. He took down Cure. He's already done the impossible. I couldn't believe my eyes. Don't want to believe my eyes.
Yeah, Firefly is going to need to go on a 5-map win streak to do it for his team here. It is not going to be easy, but if anyone on the Starving Camels can do it, it is him. And we have seen Starving Camels do some crazy things this season.
ABYDOS Game 4 好戏开场了
This is it. It all comes down to this PvP, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressfarm for the Starving Camels for Team SSLT, it is Firefly.
And his opponent looking to close things out for ABYDOS. It is Creator.
Here we go. Creator. Bring it to him, I guess. He only needs 1 map. He needs to win 1 game here to take it all for his team to end the night early, go to bed, wake up early for KSL, and be well rested for day 2 of the WTL playoffs. That's all he needs.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure it is, getting a little bit late in career as well. He would love to finish this up and give his whole team a nice rest. But all right, we are going to be seeing double gas pretty quickly coming out from both players. So Firefly saw what happened in that last game. It is not going to be testing Creator with the fast Nexus.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going for the gate expand on Gressvar. Not this time, as both players are going for double gate openers. Everything is on the up and up. No one is trying to be hyper greedy, hyper economic, and try to bait their opponents into an all-in.
Yep, that's right, as we do to see those standard double gate openers from both players. You know what we haven't done in a while? We haven't guessed the units.
True! It's our favorite gate. Okay, alright, go for it, go for it.
Alright, I'm going to do Firefly. Okay. I think Firefly, well, it kind of gives it away with this. Double Stalker.
Alright, I'm going to go Stalker Sentry for Creator. I'm going to say he's going to go for a safer opener instead. But we'll see as the Cyber Cores are about to finish up. And we do, of course, have eyes on the probe of Firefly, potentially looking for a reinforcement point.
Spicy. Stalker Adept.
Okay, Stalker Adept from Firefly. We have double Stalker coming out from Creator. With this, Firefly is going to be able to attempt to bypass the units of Creator, try to get across the map, get a scout off, maybe get a little bit of damage done as well.
Alright, Firefly just dipping in, finds that second pylon, so doesn't have to worry about any proxies or anything like that. We saw Creator was actually trying to block in that probe with a pylon. That was kind of cute.
Unfortunately, unable to block that probe in. It is barely going to be able to escape it behind this. Sentries all around, very safe follow-ups from both players.
Yeah, okay. That's really cool to see that from Firefly, that he's confident to play out a macro game versus Creator with so much on the line.
I'm telling you, the hype up worked. You know, TooDming, he was popping off. He was just building him up, building up his confidence, and we're going for it.
He was reading to him from the Book of XY.
The mind of the strong, the mind of the king is what Firefly is going for, as he does go for his expansion, does go for a delayed expansion, though, did go for a bit of a faster Twilight Council.
Yeah, so he's going to have a slightly faster blink timing, and I think he is going to have to try to get something done without his Creator throwing down a Twilight behind this as well. He is getting himself safe and situated at home with that battery, and it's going to be on Firefly to, find a way to edge himself forward in this game.
Yeah, exactly, as there's going to be that window that you were mentioning where Firefly will have blink over his opponent, so he can use that to his advantage. Meanwhile, Creator's going to confirm that. He goes in with his hallucination, he sees how late the Nexus is, he sees the researching Twilight Council as well, so Creator is fully aware that his opponent will have that window, will have that timing.
Yeah, that's right, but meanwhile, Creator just playing things out very standard for his own part. Is going to be slightly ahead on probes just because he has had that Nexus up, and looks like he is just going to play out just a calm, simple macro game. Wants to, ask Firefly to bring the fight to him.
Exactly. He wants that Fire Dragon to come his way. For now, though, both players just chilling because of the double sentry follow-ups that both players went for. We're just focusing on scouting, focusing on just sending units out on the map, hallucinations out of the map, and you don't see this often enough, but we even hallucinate some probes to look for any hidden pylons.
Yeah, I feel like this surprises people every time they see it because it is very rare, but yeah, when you hallucinate probes, you get, I believe it's 4.
Yep.
So it's a really good way to scour the map for any proxies.
Yeah, exactly. To just look for any kind of hidden pylons. Very common. I say common, it does happen from time to time in this matchup in PvP as Firefly gets across the map. He has Blink and he has high ground vision.
Yeah, okay. Blinks into the main. Does have those sentries as well. I wonder what the plan is here. Maybe to bait all of these units into the main and then force field them in?
Oh, that is possible, as we do see some counter force fields from Creator. He is boxing Firefly into his own main.
Yeah, this is backfiring massively for Firefly as Creator is trapping him towards the back of the main. Beautiful force fields will be cutting up the army, and yep, it looks like that was the plan for Firefly, but it is not going to be working out how he intended at all. These Stalkers will not be leaving with their lives here tonight, and Creator with a dominating hold of that particular attack.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really creative move coming out from Firefly, but it falls on his face. Both sentries go down. Creator having a lot of momentum going his way. He has the supply lead. He's chasing Firefly back home.
Yeah, and very nice dodges with those blinks from Firefly. That's some beautiful stuff, but Creator with that hold, it was just a little bit too clean. You can see his micro, his control is just on another level, and yeah, Firefly are going to have to be quite aggressive to try to get back into this one, maybe trying to hide the greed of getting that fast third by being out on the map here.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I mean, we have seen that he has impeccable blink control, and he's going to be flexing that here and now as he pushes up towards the third base of Creator, dives on top of the army, but we have reinforcements behind this, and Firefly is also going to be losing some of those Stalkers.
Yeah, very aggressive blink, but Creator's going to respect it for now. Just getting his third up, getting that +1 on the way as well. Both players progressing in a very similar way.
Yeah, both players are working on their third bases. We have +1 on the way. Creator does have a slight lead in that upgrade, has that upgrade advantage going his way, so he can maybe use that timing as well, as we do see Firefly just trying to outposition his opponent. Gets a probe, but will lose some Stalkers.
Yeah, it was a cheeky blink, but 4 Stalkers for a few probes, not going to be worth it.
Yeah, at the same time, it looks like he was able to distract Creator, and he gets a couple of probe kills. 3 workers go down here at the third base, and the Eps, they commit to the shade. They head into the natural.
Yep, nice damage. 5 probes in total going to be going down there, but Firefly continuing to bleed out units, and if Creator ever finds a moment to go for a counterattack once he's deflected all of this, I feel like he's just almost certainly going to have a bigger army.
He really will, as Creator actually throws down a 4th base instead of going for this gateway explosion, so Creator just getting further and further ahead in the economy. Firefly bypasses the main army once again. He's going for a big counterattack, takes down the shield battery, and he forces Creator back. Oh god, almost forced him back home. Creator a little bit indecisive, but he's committing to a counterattack.
Yeah, I like the decision from Creator. Realizes that by the time he gets back, there's going to be a lot of damage that gets done for free, and those Stalkers will just be able to recall out. So getting equivalent damage here, definitely the right call.
Yeah, exactly. As we are entering a pseudo base trade, of course, our players can recall back home as well. Probes are going down for both sides, but Creator, he's getting to the main.
Yeah, gets into the main, going to be taking out a lot of these units, trying to depower all of these gateways as well. Might be able to get himself into a nice little nook in the back here to go for that recall, but actually I think he can stay here. There's not really enough for Firefly.
Yeah, he doesn't have to go back home. He can still stand and fight, takes down more of these pylons, depowers so much of this production as well. Both players have lost an even amount of workers, and Creator will bleed out some of the Stalkers in the retreat.
Yep, few stalkers going down, some neat split fire coming out from Firefly, but in the end, Creator getting some really solid damage. Firefly really heavily supply blocked here and lacking a lot of his production.
Yeah, Firefly is down in workers, down in army, down in almost every aspect, even down in the base count as well, as Creator was able to get that fast 4th base. And Creator is able to come out ahead after that kind of chaotic moment. The pressure is still on Firefly. He has a mobile army, yes, but he's being spotted by Creator.
Yeah, he has been found. Creator is really far ahead now, and his charge is kicked in as well. So I feel like once you start massing up Zealots, that really does start to remove the counterplay from your opponent.
It really does, and we can see Creator just shoring up his defenses even further by throwing down cannons and shield batteries on his fringe bases, make sure that something like DTs don't catch him off guard. Creator just really covering all of his bases, or any kind of avenue of a comeback potential here for Firefly.
Yeah, looks like Creator might want to take a 5th here.
Sure, why not? Just take another base at this point, as he's just building up his army. We do see Firefly taking into a Templar Archive, so head towards Archons. He still has quite a ways to recover, but he's being active on the map. He has quite a large Zealot force.
Yep, definitely a good army coming out here for Firefly. Looks like he is going to be going somewhat all in, trying to get the damage here, but yeah, very crisp micro coming out from Creator. Going to be shaving off shields, shaving off as many Zealots as he can before he commits to this fight.
Oh, the Immortals do go down. They were left exposed for Firefly. They do fall, and he's going to be able to take control of the 4th base at least, but I mean, Creator was already up a base. He doesn't have to hold on to this 4th. He can't afford to lose it, and he's going to be able to save it by chasing away this army.
Yeah, there we go. Creator stepping back from his base for a little bit there. Does want to build up some extra forces before he does take on these Zealots. Wouldn't mind seeing possibly these players start to tech into Archons to deal with these big Zealot counts. And yeah, there we go. We do see just Firefly actually starting to add in some Archons.
Yeah, Firefly was the first player to get his Templar Archives. I believe that's a tech structure that Creator doesn't have, so Archons can pose a big threat. And here we go. Firefly, he blinks on forward, tries to break this position, but he's pushing into shield batteries. Creator does hold.
Great micro coming out from Creator, but I feel like there will be a little bit of a moment here with these Archons where Firefly could potentially make something happen, and he really does have to make something happen right now. He is supply blocked now as well.
Yeah, the Archons, they do add a lot of complexity to this army. They just annihilate Zealots, and they kind of nullify them in a way. But there's only a single Archon with the main army of Firefly. As you mentioned, he was supply blocked, so he just couldn't quite afford to morph in anymore.
That's right, we do see DT Shrine coming down for Firefly as well. If he can create some chaos, there might be potential for a comeback by, adding some DTs to that chaos, getting some economic damage while he is trading out army.
Yeah, but he loses the Prism in the main base. He won't be able to go for that backstab with the DTs. We also saw cannons thrown down. I think potentially the cannon at the 4th was cleaned up earlier, so maybe Creator has some vulnerabilities to his bases against those DTs, but Creator still has a massive main army.
Yeah, and Creator is shaving off as many units as he can with his Stalkers. We can see Creator, he is so confident in his micro and his multitask, in his ability to pay constant attention to these Stalkers, that he is going after these charge lots with them.
Yeah, he is shaving off so many. Firefly now has his own 4th base up and running. He has a comparable worker count to his opponent. He has been able to catch up, but Creator now has the map control. He can be the aggressor. Now Firefly has to try to hold on.
Yeah, look at the supply as well. Creator is completely maxed out. Firefly struggling to get up to 150 supply. This is a beautiful counterattack from him. It's really well done, but there is just not going to be enough at home to deal with the mass of Stalkers. And Creator, we've seen he takes these fights in PvP absolutely beautifully, doing such a good job keeping his Zealots away from the Archons. GG is called.
GG, well played. Creator, he takes game number 1. He takes down Firefly, the revived player. Firefly, he couldn't afford to drop anything, and as a result, I think that may be the end of the series.
Yeah, I think that is it. It looks like ABYDOS, they do shoot down the dreams of the Starving Camels, but man, they have done a fantastic job getting this far.
They really did. The Starving Camels, against all odds, they were able to overcome so many big teams in the group stage. They overcame Shopify Rebellion, Storm Gaming, to name a few. and they earned their spot here in the playoff bracket. And even here, Firefly popped off earlier, right? He took down the Platinum Heroes as well as Cure. You know, it was a team effort, and I hope the Starving Camels, I hope SSLT, I hope they aren't too upset with their performance because they really did well.
Yeah, they definitely did, and that was a really impressive performance over the Platinum Heroes as well. Great job from Firefly, brilliant individual performances from him tonight, both acing his way through the Platinum Heroes and taking out Cure as well, but in the end it is not enough.
Is not enough. ABYDOS, they just have such a powerful roster, not just with Cure, but with Creator, with Nightmare, and with many other players on their team. ABYDOS, they're one of the top dogs, and definitely one to look forward to, definitely one to look to see how far they can go here in the playoff brackets. But it doesn't get easier. We have so many more teams available here. We have Onside, Basilisk, CranKy Gaming, and Team Liquid.
Yeah, that's right. We are in the real serious end of this competition now, and there is no easy matches from here on out. So ABYDOS, they have proved themselves tonight against SSLT, both Cure and Creator looking really world class, but they've got some tough matches coming up. It's going to be a Team Liquid first up tomorrow.
Exactly. So for those wondering, we only casted 2 series tonight. Tomorrow we have another 2. Tomorrow we have round 3 and we have the quarterfinals featuring Team Liquid and CranKy Gaming, as well as Team ABYDOS. And the finale, the grand finale here of WTL of this season of World Team League is going to be on Sunday. It's going to be in 2 days, where we're going to be featuring Onside and Team Basilisk.
Yeah, Onside and Basilisk, the favorites to take down this competition from the get-go, but could one of these teams coming up through the next few rounds upset them? That's what we'll wait to see.
Exactly. You know, it is possible here for a team like ABYDOS, Team Liquid, or CranKy Gaming to overcome them, to overpower them, especially DKZ. There's a lot of history behind them. They have a team of champions, and they have won every season of WTL so far. Every season of World Team League has been won by a variation of DKZ. It was a DPG before that. So yeah, they're a pretty powerful team, and someone to take lightly. Definitely can take it to Basilisk or Onside.
Yeah, okay. Who's your pick, by the way?
Oh, predictions. Oh god. That's a good question. So for some context here, Basilisk is looking stronger than they ever have, right? It's like Cyril and Raynor, they're in form, Raynor especially, but not just looking at those 2 players, Trigger has been doing very well over the past couple of months. I do think that he was a bit of a weak link for Team Basilisk in the past and even in the group stage, but he has really improved so well ever since DreamHack Yongshipping, ever since ESL Master Summer. So they're pretty terrifying. But I'm biased. And I have to put my money on Onside. Ryung.
Mm-hmm.
I can't bet against Ryung.
Okay.
What's your pick? Talk us through.
I'm gonna go with DKZ. DKZ is gonna do it. I feel like Basilisk, as much as Cyril, I just don't really see Cyril ever losing games. Raynor has had a bit of a spotty record in World Team League, and I feel like Trigger as well is not always going to be able to get 2-0s in those clutch matches. So yeah, I'm thinking DKZ.
All right, okay, fair enough. You know, you got your faith in Oliveira, but as much as we can talk about predictions all night long, we have an interview with Creator, with Team ABYDOS. So we're going to be heading off for now, and we're going to be giving the mic over to the translator and to the interview.
Confronting with the 2 Protoss players, what are your feelings? And can you give a brief comment on your opponents?
일단 그 사이안 선수와 파이어플라이 선수가 요새 그 폼이 좀 올라온 것 같고 좀 잘하는 것 같아서 좀 앞으로가 좀 더 기대가 되는 것 같아요.
首先，赛尔选手
First of all,
最近的气势比较强，感觉比较好。期待他们后续的
player Firefly is quite tough, and we are looking forward to her further achievements.
Q 队被这个夜蝶换下去的时候，你当时是有什么样的想法？然后你怎么样评价就是 Q 队这个夜蝶的这个战局
？What do you think when Q was traded with Firefly? And what are your comments on both players?
경기력에 대해서 평가한다면 어떻게 생각하시나요?
일단 뭐 김도욱 선수가 요새 워낙 잘하고 있어가지고 믿고 있었는데 파이어플라이 선수가 또 준비를 또 잘한 것 같더라고요. 그래서 오늘은 그래도 잘 3승 했으니까 또 잘 한 거고 또 팀리그가 워낙 쉽지 않은 걸 제가 잘 알아서 앞으로도 좀 같이 더 잘하면 좋을 것 같아요.
首先，其实 Q 选手最近打得很好，所以我
Q is playing pretty good recent days, so I was surprising that he was traded, and that's probably because Firefly was playing quite well, and since it is a team match and we can't rely on only one player, and after all we win this game with the rest of the team's perfect performance. Tomorrow we are facing Team Liquid. Who do you think may be the toughest player?
일단 팀 리퀴드 소속 선수 모두가 잘한다고 생각하고요. 그렇지만 그중 한 명을 꼽자면 클램 선수가 저는 개인적으로 제일 까다로운 선수라고 생각하고 있습니다.
First of all, Team Liquid has magnificent players, but as long as you are asking me to choose the toughest, and I will think maybe the best.
我们看一下今天的一个竞技图。好，今天的第一场是射手骆驼战胜了这个白金英雄，然后这个 ABS 战胜了 SLT， 然后明天是 ABS 对阵 Liquid， 那明天的胜者将挑战 DKZ。好，那明天的比赛是ABS 对阵这个 Liquid 的话，那明天比赛一样精彩。然后明天还有这个黄哥的一个表演赛，我们明天见。明天6点钟不见不散，拜拜。
And with that, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and supporting here on the CranKy Ducklings and for supporting the World Team League. That is going to be it for us here tonight. We are going to be back in a couple of hours with our next broadcast. Our next broadcast is going to be in 9 hours' time. We're going to be casting KSL, the Korean StarCraft League. So if you are unsatiated, if you're going to be around in 9 hours, we got you covered with some more StarCraft. But if you want the continuation, the follow-up here of World Team League, in less than 24 hours, we're going to be live here on this channel with Day 2 with Team ABYDOS versus Team Liquid, and the winner is going to be going up against Dragon Kaizi Gaming, DKZ. So we have a pretty intense weekend ahead of us. We have a lot of StarCraft, a lot of matches, a lot to cast, a lot to go over. And yeah, be a part of it. If you want to be a part of it, be here on the CranKy Ducklings. Follow us on Twitch, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, !, socials in the chat if you want to be caught up to date on all things CranKy Duckling. Otherwise, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. And Asher, would you like to let the people know where they can find you? He's not back. Okay, never mind.
No, I'm back. I'm back.
Okay.
I was stopping myself from saying your mom's house. You can find me at twitch.tv/AsherBro, and I will stream sometime within this year.
Oh, this year?
Yes.
Oh, let's go. Check Asher out. He's a beautiful player. And a cat as well. Does have a cat. Does have Rufus. That is
True.
who we are featuring. And really, that's one of the big reasons to tune into Asher's stream is to watch Rufus. I'll be honest.
Will you be streaming ladder right now?
Oh, you know what? I would totally stream right now if I didn't have to wake up in 9 hours to cast KSL. So, if you want to tune into myself, light_VIP on Twitch and Twitter, I stream throughout the week. But over the weekends, not so much, just because we have so much casting to do. We have so much to go over. So, I won't be live for another couple of days, maybe Monday, maybe Sunday, if that. So yeah, you can follow me there if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Asher, do you have anything to say before we head off for the night?
If you practice, if you work hard at whatever it is that you love doing, one day you too can be a Firefly.
There you go. We'll see you guys in 9 hours for some more StarCraft, for some KSL. See you then.
Ciao, ciao.